Hey everybody, Vader Saber 1984, also known as that drunk guy and his bullshit opinion. So today we're going to do one about why I stopped watching wrestling and why I don't currently watch wrestling except for maybe WrestleMania to this day. So that's what this video is going to be about. If you're a wrestling connoisseur, if you love wrestling, then do me a favor. Grab yourself a smoke. Grab yourself a drink. Grab onto your butts, your balls, your boobs, whatever you got. Because here we go. So let's get one thing out of the way. Yes, the story is now that wrestling is finally becoming good again. It's finally getting to that pinnacle to where Triple H is running it. He doesn't have the old man behind him telling him what he has to do. And, it's going to get a little bit more edgy. It's not going to be so hokey. It's not going to be so comic booky. It's finally going to get good again. But let's look at the past of what wrestling was when I began watching, which was in the 80s. I can remember watching the first thing I ever saw, and it was still black and white, and it was blurry. But I think it was a channel from Dallas or something like that. I don't know if it was Smoky Mountain from... I don't know if it was Smoky Mountain from Tennessee or was the Dallas concept. But I remember just watching something when I was really, really young on a black and white and just going, oh, hey, Mom, let's watch that. It had to have been maybe 10 o'clock at night or something along those lines. But she was like, no, we're watching Night Court. Well, Night Court came on at midnight, so it was somewhere around those time frames, and whoever it was. But I didn't really get to honestly watch anything again until like 1990, flipping through the channel and seeing WCCW or WCW on the TV, whether it was a Saturday or whatever, and just being like, all right, I like this, but just didn't quite fit. What really fit is when I was flipping the channels in 1994, and it was Monday Night Nitro, and that's what kind of hooked me. And I was all anti-WWF because just like nowadays, hey, if you're a left, if you're a Democrat, and you're a right, then we don't get along. Well, everybody takes a side. Everybody's got a football team. Everybody's got a baseball team. Everybody has a fucking team in life. What they like, what they don't like. And they're going to stick with that brand or whatever it is. I, myself, completely honest, am the same way. I find something I love, a band, a TV show, a game console, something, and I'm just like so narrow-minded that I'm just like, oh, yep, nothing else gets my attention. So, anywho, it was back in the 90s, and I was wondering, okay, cool, but back in the, I guess it was closer to the late 90s, like we'll say 1996, 1997. So I'm watching this WCW because WWF didn't come in on the channels that we had. So I watched WCW. Sucks because everybody was fucking old. It was hokey. So I had no idea about WWF at the time. But it got to the point where the storyline was getting intriguing. But in my mind, who I'm a huge conspiracy theorist, and all right, I don't believe in magicians, but I enjoy them, so I always want to see how they did that. I want to figure it out. I pay attention to small detail. So I started watching Monday Night Nitro and Thursday Night Thunder and Saturday. Oh crap! What the hell did they call that? It was terrible. Damn it! I can't remember. I remember the background, which looked cool, but the fucking matches always sucked. Like even the main events were terrible. But they would always have at least some good wrestlers coming in there doing squash matches. Anywho, Saturday. God, I can't remember for the life of me. That's what happens when you've been, on this kind of sauce. You forget shit. And you get old and you forget. And you take a lot of chair shots to the head. And, your memory sucks. So, whatever. What meltdown. It'll come to me and I'll be like, oh, that was what Saturday night was. Saturday was called. And it was only like a 30-minute to an hour show. It was fucking terrible. Anywho, so I'm sitting there watching Monday Night Nitro or Thursday Night Thunder, and I'm only looking for all right, this guy comes out first, this guy comes out second. And I'm tallying it up. Piece of paper and a pen. All right, this guy came out first, he won. This guy came out second, he won. Well, didn't really add up. So I'm not finding it. And then I look a little deeper and I start seeing, all right, this guy starts off this way and he's the bad guy. And he ends up winning. Okay, so maybe it's the bad guy that starts first. All right, let's watch a bad guy that doesn't start first. Let's watch a good guy. And then I'm tallying it up thinking that there's the most green mark you ever fucking see. I just had no idea. And then over time, and then me getting into understanding that, all right, it's a work, it's a show, it's athleticism, it's the Jerry Springer show with wrestling. All right. Finally into it. And I get to the point where I'm like, you know what? This is the hottest thing since sliced bread. Kind of like skateboarding for me. Loved it. Kind of like porn when I even got older than that. It just, that's all I want. Yeah, that's all. Cut, edit. We don't want to put that out there. But anyways, it's something that I really liked and really enjoyed, and it caught my attention, and it kept me from going out and doing stupid things and making an ass out of myself, which didn't help, but still do. But so much that I wanted to emulate that, and I've told the story, whether it was with the Army Man, James, whether it was with Blake the Extreme Turner, whether it was with O'Neal DMC, or whoever I've talked to about wrestling and how it got started. It just became an infatuation with me, so I started doing it myself. And like my, we'll just say competition as a wrestling organization, we'll say T-Mac, because he has his own wrestling organization. He started out pretty much the exact same way. Wrestling figures, ideas, trampolines, and so on, and building a brand and a business, and there you go. So that's how I started. Like, came up with my own name, my own gimmick, and da 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 da. But back to the subject, and the point of the matter is, when did I stop losing interest? So from the Attitude Era of WWF, I would only glance over there when it was commercial time for WCW. And those guys were a little bit more edgy, so I'd watch a little bit more of that. And then Jeremy introduced me to some ECW, and I'd watch some of that. But I'd still watch WWE, turned after WWF. Still watch some WCW before they lost their shit. Still pay attention. Still into the storyline. But then I was all about making my own content, my own videos, my own wrestling, which I did. I had thousands of hours. If only they still had VHS recording, those little tapes that go in there. Oh, God. The crappy shit I could show you. So, fast forward to after I stopped wrestling. I just stopped it completely because to me it was a drug. It was something that, hey, I gotta be a part of it. And I just completely stopped because, hey, I can't devote my time. I got a job. I got a life. At the time, I maybe had a family or something. I just, you know what? Some things, when you get older, more mature, they take a little bit more of your time. So, I went with that. But guess what? Just like Lubbock, Texas, it always calls you back. And it's something that you love and you grow into or you grow with, and you just have a passion to be a part of it. So the day, which I can remember the day that I said no more watching wrestling, was when I watched the WrestleMania with Triple H and Sting. It was like WrestleMania 30 or 31. Fucking amazing WrestleMania. Amazing. And I said, it just can't get any better than this. Following year, I said, all right, let's see it. Nope. This person retires. This person gets hurt. Yada, yada, yada. There's this new. There's this. And I watched the next one and was just so disappointed. And I think that was like Goldberg and what's that tribal chief piece of shit that has the exact same move set as Goldberg, but a little bit more. Oh, Roman Reigns. Yeah, hey O'Neal, if you're watching this, fuck you and your tribal chief and your crappy wrestler that you like. He's got nice hair. That's about it. Other than that, couldn't wrestle his way out of a fucking paper sack if it came down to a real wrestler like Chris Benoit, Dean Malenko, Eddie Guerrero, Arn Anderson, or Chris Benoit. Couldn't hold a thumb next to any of them, let alone Kurt fucking Angle. That's for you, Blake. So, after watching that one, I just was like, you know what? I'm paying, what was it? $69.99 for a pay-per-view for a day. And it was just crappy storylines, just crappy. All of my guys that I used to watch and love, they're all going to the other programs that were just crap, and they weren't on national television, and I'm a broke bastard, so I just fell out about it. And then there was a local wrestling promotion called Rampage Wrestling, who I have followed for years and years and years. Love them to this day. Eric, thank you so much for everything you do. And it was a promotion that hosted and produced my best friend, God rest your soul. Happy birthday last Saturday. The one and only Rhino. Well, Rhino from our organization, but Doldrum Powell for Rampage. So I started going to local shows and showing people, and like, man, oh God, I'm missing them. And to this day, I will go to every show that is local. And they're so big now that they don't come here very often. Maybe twice a year, even though they're based out of here. But they're all over, the 3-4 state area, like, and all over Texas. So yeah, I just can't make it to every show. Wish I could, but love the hell out of wrestling. But what makes me fall out of wrestling just so much as what initially put me out of it is just a crappy fucking storyline that does not make sense, and too much soap opera. All right, set your storyline. I get it. I know I've done it, but God bless. Stop with everybody needs a story. You know what? Sometimes people just want to see a good damn wrestling match. They don't need to know where they came from and why they have beef. And just get your ass out there. Like, I don't remember what political post it was. It's like, you know what? Just shut up and play. Sometimes that's what you need to do. You need to grind it out. And like me, I've watched indie wrestlers that just grinded it out because it was a great match, and now they're at the tail end, and I'm like, I want more. Well, hey, I'm at the tail end. Damn it. Well, my tail end is, 10 years ago, and I really wish that I could be a part of wrestling. I will not call it sports entertainment. Will not. But when you lose faith in something, it's one of those sour apples that you just get out of the mix, or that bad piece of food from a restaurant that just kind of kicks you in the nuts and doesn't want you to come back. Damn it. Or working for somebody that, like, you worked your ass off for, you gave it your all, and you try and go back just because you loved some part of it, whatever it was, business or personalities or whatever. But you go back and it's just like, you know what, I left for a reason. Now, wrestling is getting a little better. I believe Triple H is going to do a good job, but I'm still that old fucking cranky bastard that's like, I only want to watch my guys. So that's why I have Peacock, and that's why I watch all the good old school wrestlers and old matches. But I guarantee you, if you were to ask anybody who I've ever been in the ring with, in my two federations that I've been a part of, or even maybe if I get lucky and get a podcast host from Rampage Wrestling that at the tail end or have retired, they will tell you always that, yeah, they miss it. They love it. But you know what? When it's time, and when something's burnt out and done, it's fucking done. But when it's a love and a passion of your life, and you can't be a part of it, it just kind of, just, man, I didn't make it to that. I could have done better. I could have had fun with that. Oh, man, my idea, selfishly, but you always want to be a part of the show. And I believe specifically that Jake the Snake said it best. He said, you never get over that pop. You never get over that crowd. But your body does. And that's just so detrimental, man. Like, you want to be a part of it. What are you going to do? Be Michael Hayes forever sitting in the background? You could. Yeah, but who am I? So this is just my bullshit opinion on the situation of when I fell out of love with wrestling. Because mind you, wrestling was the best in the Attitude and the Monday Night Wars. It was edgy, it was entertaining, it was funny, and it made you want to watch it because of the characters. Nowadays, all these kids are fucking younger than I am, and I'm like, I'll watch Cody Rhodes, I'll watch Dustin Rhodes, well, I won't watch this guy because he absolutely sucks, and they brainwash everybody thinking he's good. Oh, that would be Roman Reigns and his bullshit. And his tribe stealing everything from their lineage. Oh, hey, didn't Umaga do the thumb? Oh, your kid's doing the exact same thing, but okay. You know what? When it's so repetitive and washed out, and I've seen it, but this is just somebody younger that doesn't work as hard. It's not that fun. It's not that interesting. But I do hope and pray that there will be a promotion for me to go, yeah, I want to watch that. Now, Rampage Wrestling, get your ass back to Lubbock and do more freaking shows. I mean, damn, I know y'all are coming up August something and September something. Like, dude, y'all are so much better. Your brand is so much better. I'll stick with that. But anywho, this is just a little wrestling in there about why I fell out of love with it. And honestly, I have to say, the last greatest match that I ever saw in wrestling that I just wanted to go back and watch more, and then it got killed out and ruined because the way they did it was Sting versus Triple H. Like, why did you ruin that? Like, you had a great idea and then you just killed it. Terrible. Anyways, this is Vader Saber 1984, also known as that drunk guy and his bullshit opinion, which I'm working on it. And I gotta say, if you love something, sometimes it's best to fall back in love with it after you let it die. Even though you live and breathe and sleep and whatever, work every day, but down deep, it's sitting there burning. And you're like, oh, when it's ready, I will love that again. So is wrestling.